Good afternoon. Snap Turtle, aka The Definition, aka Author Emmy Magnum, coming at you with a video as part of my training and pepping series. Not pepping, all right? No pepping, prepping, training and prepping series. Today I want to talk about sacrifice, all right? Now, in many instances, and in meeting many of the goals that we wish to meet, there are sacrifices that need to be made, any eventuality, whether it be a disaster like an earthquake, solar flare, an occupation from a foreign country, or you know, our own government becoming so tyrannical and oppressing us to the point where we have to stay constantly on the move, that type of thing. Whether it be if you wish to just live off the land, regardless of what's going on in the world. It doesn't have to be a disaster. You can that's something that you want to do. You know, that's a whole different lifestyle that you have to be prepared for. So, and this is what I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to those type of goals. I'm not talking about aspirations to become a doctor or even a writer. Hold on. Niar, come here. What? No, girl, hush your mouth. What's up? What do you need?
I wanted to know where Mommy went.
Mommy went to drop something off at Carolyn's house.
Oh.
Okay? Go back in the house and make sure my daughter's okay. Dealing with the babies. Anyway, I got some smoking on the grill, on my Traeger. By the way, that's a good way to preserve meat. Slow smoke it. Smoke that sucker, until it's like jerky or something like that. A dehydrator is a good way to preserve food. Get a dehydrator. Every time you get fruit and vegetables from the farmer's market or from your own garden, you want to slice it up, throw it in a dehydrator, or throw it in a smoker. Throw your meats in the smoker if you don't have the patience to salt your meat. I'm a meat eater, by the way. No vegan over here. I eat fish. I eat I eat duck. I eat, what I'm saying? I eat beef, all manner of beef. I eat bacon, you know what I'm saying? And my blood work is great. I talked about the issues I had with my blood work in a different video, but that had to do with me drinking a lot of energy drinks that had aspartame and sucralose in it. At any rate, so sacrifice. What are we sacrificing to be prepared for survival in the event that we want to get off the grid, or we're forced off the grid, or the grid goes down? Well, one of the sacrifices that I find that is completely necessary is fasting, right? So, and I don't mean like a 3 or 4 or 5 day fast. That's something that you do every now and then to cleanse your system. I'm talking about fasting every day, intermittent fasting. Most people do it to lose weight, to go into ketosis much more easily, and for digestion, and all those things are great, and that's why I do it, because for all those reasons. And in the event that something happens and something goes down, and I have so much food stored up, so much emergency food stored up, I need to be able to go a day without eating, or just one meal in a day, after hours and hours of not eating. Um, that's a sacrifice that you can make in the event that, for the event that you're not going to be able to eat all day. You're not going to be able to eat 5, 6, 7, 8 meals all day. And on top of that, when you intermittent fast during the day, you sleep for 8 hours or whatever. You know, basically you're fasting for 16 hours after the last time you ate. So let's say you ate at 8 o'clock, then you're going to fast until from 8 to 4 is 8 hours, and then from 4 to 12 is another 8 hours. You don't eat until after noon, right? That's if you eat at 8. Some people, you might stop eating at 7. At that point, you can eat again at 11 in the morning. Now, you can go even longer. So eventually, your stomach will, what happens is your body will metabolize all the food that you ate the day before properly. It'll break it down, it'll absorb it, and it'll send it to all the parts of your body that need it. But if you're constantly eating all day, you're eating 3 or 4 times, 6 times a day, your body is constantly using energy just to break down the food, instead of using that 16-hour window in the first part of it to break down all the food that you ate so they can get into your body, and then that's where your energy comes from, right? For the rest of the day that you're not eating until you eat. So you need not be concerned about energy. You use the energy that your body consumed and created during the fasting process, or will continue to create. So you're getting energy that way, right? And you also want to during this time, you want to drink electrolyte. You want to consume electrolytes with your water. You don't want to just drink water throughout the day, a whole gallon, and not replenish your electrolytes. You want to consume it with your electrolytes. Hold on a minute. Okay, get in the house. Okay. Here. Why are you wearing those outside? Why are you wearing those outside? All right, go house. Oh man, my babies. So anyway, yeah. So you don't want to just drink straight water, okay? I use this green drink powder from I'm So Alpha. Shout out to Mike Rashid. I use that. I use the the superfood, the green superfood from Mike Rashid. I'm not getting paid for this. So and not that I would be, because I have like 1.5 followers. And anyway, so yeah, you can put that in a drink, and I throw a little sea salt in it. I use Celtic sea salt. Mix it all up. I'll put some. I'll also put some chlorella in there, some chlorella powder. I haven't really done the apple cider vinegar thing. I'm gonna start doing that just to, replenish the HCl in my stomach, because as you get older, you lose more. You begin to lose HCl, hydrochloric acid, which helps break down your food. So you need that. So let's say you're getting ready to eat. Right before you eat, you drink some apple cider vinegar with a little baking soda, just to, bring the acidity down just a little bit. You drink that, and then it'll replenish your gut with HCl. Then you eat, your food gets broken down properly. So yeah, you do that. So that's like I said, it's a sacrifice. And soon you'll find that you'll have more energy when you fast in that manner, because you're not weighed down with all this food you're eating all day, right? And then you have a good meal. You have a good dinner. You know what I'm saying? With a good amount of food. You don't need to overfeed yourself when you break your fast. 1 minute. I'm back and I'm black. So yeah, um, so that's something that you might want to consume during the fast, just to, the green superfood will help keep, the vitamins and minerals you need throughout your body. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to drink just straight water. You want, you know, something with some, maybe after you can even work out during your fast, and after your fast you drink some BCAA powder or something like that, just to get the amino acids back in you, to help repair your muscles. So you don't need to eat a big old meal after your workout. As a matter of fact, if you're trying to lose weight, that's a good way to do it. You know, do a great workout, and a workout to where you're still burning calories after you're done for hours. And that on top of the fasting will really help you lose weight. It'll really help you tone your muscles and all that, and give you energy. So yeah, that's one sacrifice. Another sacrifice might be the creature comforts of, the city life, right? You can go to the club, or even living in a city like LA, and go down to the beach, you know, um, go down to the beach and hang out, you know what I'm saying? And soak up some rays, and, you know, pop in some salt water, and just, you know, be in a bunch of sand and have to clean sand off of you. Great sacrifice, right? So you might have to sacrifice the creature comforts of the city life. Um, Convenience stores right down the street, everything a walk away, everything you can just drive 10, 15 minutes to get to it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it sounds great, right? You might have to sacrifice something like that to live off the land, and, you're living in a rural area where you can hunt and gather your food, where you can grow some food, raise some food, and that's your everyday life. Maybe you can drive out to the city once or twice a week to do little odd jobs, or to go to farmers markets and sell your products. You can live like that. Um, I know it's not that easy to do given the inflation and all that, but there are areas where you can buy and relatively cheap, and you can build a house. Save up some money. You build a house on that land. You have well water. You have fertile soil. You just get animals and you start planting stuff, and maybe you live like 20, 30 minutes outside of a small town where you can go to work, you know what I'm saying? Or you can, like, construction or something like that, something for a few hours a day. Something to sustain yourself, in order to pay your mortgage or whatever, which may be low, So that's another sacrifice. In terms of the sacrifice of fasting, get your kids on it, right? Get your kids on the intermittent fasting tip, because the people that are going to be most affected by the lack of food in an emergency are the kids. They're going to be complaining about being hungry all the time, and they're going to slow themselves down, which will slow you down, which will cripple you from being able to protect your family to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? So get them on the intermittent fasting so they can get used to not eating all day. Every time you turn around, your kid wants a snack. Tell them they can't have no snack. Giving them their meals. Start by giving them just the 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I'm saying? A light breakfast, a light lunch, and a moderately sized dinner. And then work your way down. You're only giving them lunch at around noon, and then dinner later on. And then eventually, maybe you just give them a little snack, like a piece of fruit or a banana or something like that, for lunch. And then a few hours later, they're eating this big dinner, and they're happy, and they're content. And eventually, their stomachs will get smaller, and they'll have more energy and all that other stuff. Their minds will be operating properly. Get them on that too. And on top of that, it'll save you a little bit of money, because you're not spending money on snacks every week. All that, can I get these chips? And no, stop spending your money on that crap. Feed them real food. If you want them to have some chips, you know, cut up some fruit, you know, throw it in a dehydrator, bam, there's your chips. You know, go to the farmer's market or pick your own fruit, slice it up, throw it in a dehydrator, boom, that's it. That's their chips. That's their snack. You know, bananas, nectarines, apples, whatever it may be. So that's one thing you can do. And like I said, giving up, sacrificing the comfort of the city life to live a simpler life out in a rural area. You know, like for example, in California, you move somewhere near the Sierras, you take yourself up north, maybe a Redding, or they're burning people out of there. So really, you don't want to live in any rural area, and they're burning people out of those rural areas to get them into the mega cities. So California is a model, and that's another thing that you might need to sacrifice. If you live in LA, you live in California, you might have to sacrifice California as a place to live. Yeah, I know the weather's great, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there's celebrities and stars here, but at the end of the day, that doesn't help you to prepare for any eventuality. You're going to end up living in a high rise. Black folks are getting gentrified out of their neighborhoods. They want us to live in a valley in a desert. I say, get out of the valley. Don't even move to the valley or the desert. If you can't afford it, move to Nevada. Move to Utah. Move to Idaho. Move to Texas. I wouldn't say Arizona because it gets hot as heck. Unless you live in like northern Arizona, Flagstaff or something like that. But Arizona's not really friendly to black folks. So, yeah, sacrifice the state of California if you live in California. Because it's going to earthquake, you know, that's really the major thing. The earthquake, the drought, when you couple the earthquake with the drought and you're living in a city, it's a done data, man. I mean, you really have to store up and store up food and water if you live in Cali in your own house. You know, maybe a storage shed in the back. Even then, like once you're ready to move about and get out, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be fires, and I'm telling you, man, earthquake cracks here. There's gonna be fires all over the place. If we get that 7.0 that we could get in the San Andreas Fault, so you might have to sacrifice living in California. It might have to be done. Me myself, I'm thinking about several states I want to move to: North Carolina, South Carolina, Nevada, somewhere like that. Definitely, I don't like Texas. I've been to Texas. I don't like Arizona. Not going to Arizona. Now, one sacrifice I'm trying to get my wife to get on board with is living in a city where there's a huge population of black folks. You know, I mean, and that's kind of her hesitation in regards to moving to northern Nevada in the Sierra area. You know, like Reno and a little bit north of that, Tahoe. You know, listen, when the shit goes down, 90% of those black folks that live in your area are not going to be able to help you. You know, yeah, you want the black folks right now for social reasons, right? You want to be able to hang out with them and talk to them and relate. You know, maybe you and a couple families can move to one of the areas I'm referring to where it's more suitable for a simple life and you won't be so affected by a natural disaster. You guys all move out there. You buy some land, you build a little villa, you know, and you get it done like that. And another thing, in regards to friends and family, you might have to sacrifice your relationship to family to some degree. If you're like me and you're a prepper, um, whenever you talk about these things, when you talk about prepping and being prepared for a disaster, or you know there has to be a disaster coming, and you're trying to convince people that they need to do certain things, and you know they look at you like you shot out a dinosaur egg, and You know, you might have to skate. You might have to skate without them. You know, and that's another thing I'm trying to get my wife on. You know, she's very hesitant. She wants to be around family, and I get that. Family is great, but there are other things too. We live in California, where the houses are so ridiculously priced. Even someone with my salary can't even afford to really buy a house like that and be comfortable. And I make $44 an hour as an electrician. Enough to to buy a house and for me to feel comfortable buying a house and paying mortgages and all this other stuff. Shit. Oh, my kids are in the car. I can say shit. So another sacrifice. The sacrifice is good for that. And then with all these laws that pass in California, even more reason for me to just want to get out of here. There's nothing holding me back here anymore, not even family. And I got all kind of family out here. Oh well, if you decide to wake up and join me, you know, I'll be there in the state that I moved to. I'm breaking my fast a little. So, you know, it's time to be calculated. And it may appear that you're cold sometimes. But listen, man. Hold on a second. Well, the baby them call. Okay? I know I sound ridiculous. Anyway, enough sacrifices for now. Uh, but wife dipped out on me. So then I handle my Baba duties.